This tutorial will go over perfect travel for people using monitors with a resolution of 1920 by 1080. To start off with, you want to right click your taskbar and go to taskbar settings, and then make sure you're using small taskbar buttons. This way, when you're windowed and maximized in Minecraft, you'll have the specific resolution which makes perfect travel work. If you'd rather play on full screen exclusively, you can set your FOV instead to 31, which is done by setting it down to 30 and then pressing tab and right arrow. It's also worth noting that your GUI scale can make perfect travel more difficult. Personally, I use 3. 4 is a good choice as well, but 2 and 1 make it very hard, as your crosshair will be a few pixels thinner and it makes lining up for measuring just that much more difficult. The last important piece of setup you should be doing is adding the Perfect Travel bot to your Twitch chat, which is done by going over to the Perfect Travel bot Twitch channel and typing !add me in the chat. Or you can use the spreadsheet, which is linked in the description. Generally what I do to practice is I go to some random spot in the ring. These codes work pretty well. And you need to line yourself up at a 0, position in a chunk with these numbers here. And then with chunk borders enabled, place 2 blocks against the 0 chunk block, so that now you can see that my X and Z coordinates have a decimal of 300. Now throw your first eye. For practice, there's no shame in throwing lots of eyes. Just keep track of where it heads. When you're ready, turn your FOV all the way down to 30, and then go to Controls, Mouse Settings, and turn your sensitivity all the way down. And then by mashing F3 and escape and moving your mouse little by little each pause, try and get your crosshair in a position on the eye so that it meets these following conditions. The right side of the crosshair should line up with the left side of this middle pixel of the eye here. Now take note of the widest pixel. In this case it's the right side. The right pixel is wider than the other 2 pixels. Depending on which pixel is widest, you'll need to perform some more maths later on. Now, assuming you're still paused, take your hand off your mouse, press escape to unpause, and then F3 and C to get an accurate angle reading. Just paste these in chat and have a look at the second to last number. That's the angle of your eye. Now, depending on which pixel was wide when you measured the eye, perform one of the following math equations with your angle. A middle wide means you should add 0.01. A left wide means you should subtract 0.01 from your final angle. A right wide means you should do nothing and move on. Now in your Twitch chat, type ! and then the angle that you recorded, and then the bot will give you 2 numbers. You also want to note which chunk you are in. Just these 2 numbers here. Now we need to add the first 2 numbers together, so in this case, minus 60 and 94. So 94 minus 60 is 34. And then these next 2 numbers, 94 and 42, adding those together gives you 136. If I go to the 34, 136 chunk now in the overworld, you can see the stronghold is right here. More specifically, the starter staircase is in the precise chunk. If you don't have enough obsidian to put another portal in the Nether, then this is all you need. However, to convert these chunk coordinates to coordinates that you can place your second portal in the Nether, all you need to do is double them. So in this case, 34 times 2 is 68. And 136 times 2 is 272. So I'll go there now in the Nether and set a portal. There you go. Please note that if you double a negative number, you need to add 1 to get the precise location you should be building your portal. If I instead had negative 68 and negative 272, I would add 1 to both of those numbers, so I'd end up with negative 67, negative 271. It's also worth mentioning that you should be standing on this specific block. It's not enough to build your portal on here and then stand on the wrong block. Ideally in a real run, once you have your 20 obsidian from the bastion and you're killing blazes, you would get 1 blaze rod and place your first portal down, get your angle and offset from the bot, and do maths while you're killing the rest of the blazes. Lastly, if you have any questions or concerns, you can DM me on Discord or leave a comment. The more detailed guide is linked in the description, the spreadsheet is in the description. Don't get discouraged if you mess it up a few times. Perfect takes a lot of practice, just keep trying. Depending on what GUI scale you use, remember I'm using 3, check the left side of your crosshair. GUI scale of 3 will show 1 extra pixel on the left side of the crosshair. GUI scale of 4 will have nothing, so your crosshair will cover up the left pixel entirely. Do note that if you have a left wide pixel, then you will have an extra pixel on the left side of your crosshair to identify. For example, compare this right wide and this left wide. Note how the right wide only has 1 pixel on the left of the crosshair as opposed to the 2 on the left wide. Something to note with the perfect travel bot is that you can put a star before you write your angle. So for example, if I had recorded this, the star would give me all the possible offsets. Generally you do want to use just the first one. There's around a 63% chance that it is this one. However, if you do the maths and it doesn't look like it's in the ring, then you can try one of the other offsets, or you probably measured it wrong.
Hey guys, 4 here. So some of you may be worried about missing due to low rolling or some other kind of mistake, but to account for that, you can actually incorporate a distance estimation to your perfect, and it'll increase your accuracy significantly. So first you're going to want to just measure as normal. So we get our first angle here, minus 255.25, and we're going to want to list all the offsets. And now we're going to do our distance estimation. So we rotate 90 degrees, do our 4 sprint jumps. We're going to measure again, and we see 254.61, 255.2, which gets us an angle change of about 0.6, give or take, and an angle change of 0.6 is about 1600 away. So we know that our stronghold is about 1600 away, so we can look at all our offsets. Oops. So we see 6718, that's like 800 away. 8623 is about 1400 away. 105 minus 28 is over 1600 away. So we know we're going to want to take this offset. So we add that to our starting chunk, which is 63108. And we're going to get minus 4280 as our chunk. So if we locate stronghold, we see minus 4280, we hit the stronghold. And if we went for the high roll, we would have missed there.
There's a little practice drill with perfect travel. If you locate the stronghold and go to the northwest chunk directly adjacent from where you teleported to, and practice measuring from there, you should get a perfect measurement with a multiple of 45, like this one. Of course, you need to do math still, depending on which wide pixel you have, but this is just good practice to get consistent at measuring.